Let me show you what you'll see in this video. For this dashboard, we only need two elements. The first one is a CSV database taken from Kaggle and about the world top 2000 companies as of 2020. Then, as a background picture, we'll download a Seaway style image from Pixabay. The notebook has been divided into 6 sheets. The last one in green is where we assemble our final dashboard. The first one in pink, I created a table from our downloaded database. Apart from 2 categorical columns referred to continents and countries, we only have numerical financial data. Each of the 4 remaining sheets in blue will store the pivot tables and the related charts of 4 different financial insights. We'll start with the market values in the forms of a world map and a horizontal bar chart, broken down by 6 colors, one for each continent. Its color pattern will be kept for all the other charts. The second sheet will display the number of companies by continents and countries. A tree map will be used for the purpose. Then for the sales and profits, I'll create a couple of donut charts separated by a 2-sided arrows shape. Finally, we'll show the assets by through a waterfall chart and another bar chart as the one used for the market values. Finally, in the middle of the whole dashboard, everything will be interactively connected by a single slicer containing the continent's values. Now, let's see how to do everything step by step. Despite the dashboard is the last part of the job, we prepare the ground for the grand finale. Start by getting rid of the guidelines and importing our Seaway style picture previously downloaded. Don't confuse importing a picture with selecting a background as we do in this video. Now, the only element we've inserted in this step is a top banner. Just select a round rectangle shape and customize the size, color and transparency. Always prefer to unfill colors and remove outlines. For this dashboard, I choose gradient color combination for almost all the elements created. Perfect! Now we populate the top banner with a text box for the title. I wanna add some glow to it. Now, down to align text and shape. Great! Now for each of the 4 sheets, I'll insert an icon inside my top sheet. Don't judge me, I just pick up random images. By the way, if you face problems in selecting elements as I'm doing here, I show you a little lifesaver. Select one of them, then click on Shape Format, and then Selection Pane. Now it will be much easier to handle everything. Just remember to hold Ctrl. Finally, each icon will be equipped with a link sending to their corresponding sheet of this file. Before saving, just test the links and align all the icons. We finally prepared the ground for the dashboard. So far, so easy, right? As said before, in this part we'll make a world map and a horizontal chart for expressing the market values. Please, pay attention. Every chart we'll see in this video will start from a pivot table, so just let's create the first one. From the top of the menu, click Insert, and then Pivot Table. As our table range, just select the whole range from our first page table. Now the pivot table is active. We need to populate it with our data. Just drag continent and country into the rows section, and market values in the last area as a sum of values. For this purpose, we have to remove both subtotals and grand totals. We're ready for the map plot. Unfortunately, you can't do it from a pivot table. As a workaround, just copy and paste special the pivot table, and then we can proceed to make our map. Now, copy it into our dashboard sheet. To make our map interactive, we now need to link it again to our pivot table. The following method is just the easiest among many. Click on a data point in the map, and then select Data. Now just change the range interval by selecting again the original pivot table. Time to test it. By clicking on a cell in my pivot table, we insert a slicer including continent's name only. By clicking on it, we see that both pivot table and the color area in the map change. Great, it works. Let's edit the map. Remove the background and the outlines. Then we'll show only regions with data and express the market values differences by selecting a 3 diverging color spectrum. For aesthetic reasons, I will edit my slicer with a format I previously done. If interested, I will make a video about it. Perfect. Let's move to the horizontal chart. Follow my tips. Always better copy and paste the original pivot table. Then remove countries and reinsert the grand total. For the chart, pick up the horizontal stacked bar. Then in Design, switch the row columns Great! Move everything in the dashboard and start editing. My advice, for sake of precision, zoom in every time you can. Next, we will proceed to customize colors for each continent. Take note, from now on, we will use the same colors for each of them. This will help in understanding if our interactive slicer works. The trick here is to narrow the bar as much as possible without hiding the colors. Now let's create some contrast between our plot and the background. To do that, just insert a shape. make it black, and 30% transparent. Just group all the elements in order to better handle their moves. Finally, put the shape in the backward and yeah, now it shines. Take your time to make all arrangements by grouping and ungrouping all times you need. Time to test it. Something gone wrong here. The reason is that after switching our rows and columns, the grand total disappeared for some reason. Just let's fix it. Now colors change according to my selection. Great! Before ending this part, I think it's better group all the elements in the top banner too. In the second part, we'll display the number of companies by continents and countries. I chose a tree map for better displaying the multi-level structure. As always, we start by copying and paste the first pivot table. Then we'll do the same with a slicer for testing our chart. We only have to change one input, switch the market values with companies. Now you'll see a 3 levels order: continents, countries, and the number of companies. Once again, copy and paste special the pivot table for reproducing our chart. This time, for connecting table and chart, we'll use an XLOOKUP formula. If you don't know it, please just refer to my previous video. The magic that makes the interactivity possible is the selection of the 2 columns from pivot table as lookup and return array. Just like that. However, just pay attention to this, how pivot table only counts the number of companies for countries. In order to exclude continents, we'll just delete the 0 from each of them. When creating a chart, please watch out. You must include the empty cell above the first value of the table. This way, Excel won't exclude the hierarchy between Africa and its countries. Perfect! Now each continent has a color of its own, and it's the same for each of their respective countries. When we test it with the slicer, we see that only selected continents' countries' values are summed up in the pivot table and displayed on the tree map. By allowing multiple selection, we can detect the different color scheme. Fantastic! Everything runs as expected, so just edit the labels as banners and move the chart to the dashboard sheet. Well, that's a case when bigger is better. Now just apply the same color scheme as for the previous charts, remembering to set a 30% of transparency. Test it and yes! I'm happy. Hovering over the tree map gives us the count values of companies. We conclude with the same known edit. We put a black 30% transparent shape and move it backwards for giving a contrast. Then both chart and shape are grouped. Tell the truth, it's getting easy now, isn't it? For the next part, we will deal with two financial data, sales and profits, providing a donut chart for each feature. Once copied and pasted the usual pivot table, we will insert continents for rows and sales or profits for values. This time we will include the grand totals. I want to create a percentage column for both sales and profits. Now interactivity will be achieved in a different way, so please follow all steps. Start with the paste special of the two grand totals. Then, just click on a cell value in one of the pivot tables and divide it by the new copied grand total values. This is a necessary step for not getting missing values while clicking on the slicer. But it's still not enough to avoid a wrong total computation when selecting continents. So this is a little trick. At the end of this percentage column, I will use the SUMIF formula. My condition will include only values bigger than 0. And voila! Now I don't fear any click. Okay, time to insert our donuts. Guess what? This time can be done by selecting the pivot table. Let's remove all buttons and the titles. Then, for each donut, we will insert 2 text boxes at the middle of both plots. The top ones will reference our SUMIF cells. At the bottom, we will name the features. Again, copy and paste the slicer and test it. As expected, only values we selected are shown and summed in both pivot tables and charts. Now, let's align and group as we know, and move everything to the dashboard. Now we will edit the same way we did for all the other charts. I will skip the second one. Take it as a homework. Now our link to the grand total has been removed, so let's do it again. Final check. Okay, no problems here. Map, charts and colors are all synchronized. Now we can add our two arrows shape. I will pick up a two gradient color scheme and a width value that allows me to see it. Finally, the background shape. You're getting good at it, so I don't give you any help this time. Okay, last part for our charts. This time we will display the assets values. Again we will provide a couple of plots, our waterfall chart and again a horizontal bar chart. Copy and paste the original pivot table and just change the sum of values by selecting assets. Duplicate our table. The former will be used for the bar chart, while the second one for the waterfall. The horizontal bar chart will just follow the very same procedure seen for part 1. For the waterfall chart, on the other hand, I'll show you a reliable way to only sum values selected when clicking on the slicer buttons. This will allow Excel to correctly handle and sum all missing values. Instead of the XLOOKUP formula, this time we will go for the SUMIF. This will be used for each single continent. While the grand total will just include the simple sum function. Very important, the last bar in the chart must be set as total, as it will have a different color for a better and a more precise look at a glance. Now, before moving on, I will feel better if we test everything right now. Take a look at both pivot tables and charts. They show the same numbers and plots from the slicer, even when enabling multiple selection. Great, but I forgot the grand total for the bar chart. Once again. Now we only have to apply the same color pattern for each continent. But hey, you're supposed to be well trained by now, so let's skip it this time. Okay, our colors are correctly set. Now before moving to the dashboard, a last test. Okay, I'm happy. Let's move on. As usual, remove background and outlines, and give it a kick to our excess colors. A simple white would be the best choice. The following part is just pure boring formatting, moving, aligning, grouping and ungrouping, etc. etc. And finally, our old friend, the black 30% transparent background shape, to move backward. Finally, we can proceed to adjust all the charts. It now becomes just a matter of nested grouped elements, in order to move everything together if needed. Watch it these last seconds at the speed you wish. Believe it or not, we can finally assemble all the elements. Just another fast check before. Okay, it runs great. Time to remove the continents labels once and for all. Oops, text boxes don't like changes. We need to fix it. Align them so they won't move while clicking on the slicer. Okay, much better now. Our last touch, let's insert a title for each section, and next to them we will put the same corresponding icon from the top banner. But we first need to make some room for them, right? Okay, now let's insert our usual rectangle shape and put it on the top of each section. As said before, it will host both titles and icons. Watch out the icons now, they have a link working. As a workaround, always prefer selection pane. Then drag the icons and paste it on the shapes. Okay, time for titles in the text boxes. You know what? I don't want links working in my titles. Let me remove. Oh, and of course, last section needs to be grouped too. Now we're repeating the same steps for all other 3 sections. But there's no need to annoy you, right? So I'll show you it just one more time. Welcome back! In the backstage I just add some transparency to my title shapes. Now it's 60%. More coherent with the dashboard overall style in my opinion. Final move, adjust the shapes and reduce them. I mean, I gotta show everything in my thumbnail after all. Now you're seeing why we group elements. Moving everything together, it's just a lifesaver. It's been a long job today, but it pays back. Do you agree with me? Now I greet you folks. See you next time.